All right, yo. I forgot to do a trading recap video on Friday because it was such a crazy day. So it's Saturday, and I'm going to do it today. I'll try to keep it short and sweet with the trades and then maybe talk a little bit about just things I've been thinking about. But on Friday, we had red folder news. Powell was speaking at 10, which I thought was at 9. And then we had Trump speaking at noon. We had an inside bar day on Thursday, and it had been kind of sideways action for maybe like a day or two. And so light soft bias coming in. Some of the semis looked weak. There was some overnight news about NVIDIA. So AMD and NVIDIA looked kind of weak coming in pre-market. Really, a lot of things needed to get either under Wednesday's lows or previous day lows or above Wednesday or previous day highs for any continuation. And so coming in, really, I was looking for like anything with like real momentum on some news or something that I could scalp, because it was some 0 days. And basically Neo had broke out the day before, had a really big day. And so I saw it get going again. It was on my radar. I had a number of things on my radar. And that's kind of a hard thing for me to manage. Like, there's so many things on my radar. I don't know what to take. I don't know which one's going to actually follow through, and it's just hard to know. I mean, I picked the right one. I just didn't end up holding it very long, and I didn't go in with enough size, all that type of stuff. But we're learning. So I basically took Neo. Maybe I can't remember if I waited the first 15 minutes or not, but I waited maybe within the first 10 minutes or something. A lot of things were, no, that's not true. I don't know. Anyways, Neo had a good setup. It was looking bullish. I think I caught it on like a 1 minute retracement, and I added to it, and it went up, and we made maybe like 10% on that trade. And then whatever. Then got out. I was happy about that. It hit TP. I used a stop loss actually, and it hit TP, and we got out. Although I just put the TP like a 1-to-1. I didn't like look at any previous highs or anything like that for it to target, because I'm a noob. But and then in the morning, I had this realization that like maybe I should like swing contracts too, because I have an investment background, and I can kind of implement that and some like longer dated options, and express my positions, my opinions of these companies through options, like just lever the kind of, rather than putting money in commons, just like use options to kind of express that. And so I bought some CoreWeave calls for January, and like maybe it was like pretty early in the day, but I bought those on like a little dip, and that was cool. And I also had a bunch of shares, and I also had like a bunch of companies. Anyways, basically Powell came on at 10 a.m., said something to the extent of, it's looking like we're going to cut rates, which I knew. I was like already bullish, because the Fed futures were pricing in like 70-something% of a rate cut in September, and I pretty much knew that's kind of where he'd be. But anyways, he said something, and we just get huge Shrek candle like on just about everything. And CoreWeave ripped really good. I think I was up like 15% on the or maybe 15-20% on the January calls. Like, that's a rip for that far of a call. And so I dumped that. I definitely dumped it too early, because I thought it was going to be a pop and a fade. You know how sometimes that is, but I guess the market just wanted to pop and go like all day. So a lot of those things I had on my watch list ended up breaking out like 15%. I ended up trading Tesla, that was looking bullish and ripping, and so I scalped that for a little win. I wouldn't say it was the best setup, but I just felt like it was going to continue a little bit, and then it ended up pulling back a bit, and then kept going. But I was trading 0 days, and like I think right now, just with like my inability to like really pick good entries and question stuff, it's like, man, I need to go with some smaller options, some slower options, and so I'm either going to do 2 weeks out or like a month out on these, so that maybe I can like hold them a little bit longer and just feel like I really want to get a swing out of them. Maybe it's less percentage gain, but that's okay for now. And so I hit good on those 2 trades, and then I ended up selling the January call for CoreWeave, and it ended up making me green on the week actually and the month. So that was really cool. This first kind of month of going all day, just going day trading almost every day, and so I was super excited about that. And just, I don't know, I feel like I'm going back and forth on like what my style is and all these different things and what types of trades I want to take and all this stuff. And it's this big discovery process. But I really like, how they say, like, what's your edge, and the only trade that. Like, my edge is definitely investment due diligence. So it's like, I want to trade around that and use that ability, but at the same time, like, use technical analysis a bit. And so I'm trying to figure out what that looks like. I definitely do like momentum breakout trades, and and just needing to pick the right options. Like 0 days good and all, and I think like eventually I can get to where I can do weeklies and dailies like pretty successfully. I genuinely believe that, just with kind of what I'm seeing so far in this first month. But I think right now, just for me, it's going to be better to use a little longer out options and slower, and maybe be able to hold them a little bit better and not be worried about every up and down, and not be really scalping them. And so, I was super hyped, and I've just spent my time now, like, all right, checking out, just doing more work on swing trading, doing more work on setups. Like, a lot of that work seems like it's going to be done prior to market open, whereas the other times it's like, okay, you have some ideas or like really just your bias, and then you kind of look for opportunities as they play out, and openings to kind of enter trades based on whatever price is doing that day. Same thing with these swings, but I think it's a little more chart work before, maybe. I don't know though. So yeah, I'm not trying to go too fast from one thing to the other, but I'm thinking about that coming in. I'm still basically going to look for like what's ripping and try to buy calls on it, and see how things play out. The tough part is now we just ripped like, a lot of things that I was watching ripped like 10-15%. So it's like, I don't know if we're going to see a continuation on that next week, or if we're going to see kind of things pull back a bit or take a breather or what. But anyways, I did pick up some CoreWeave, I think I picked up CoreWeave month out contracts, so some calls. So we'll see how that goes. I definitely want to express my view longer through January, because I do believe in that company, but we'll see if we can't catch it for another rip, a break out of this lower like consolidation range, since it sold off after earnings and everything. But it seems to be holding support here, so I feel good about it. And then I just pretty much mostly cash in my account right now, so just trying to be patient, not be too greedy, and hopefully take less trades this next 4 weeks. I think I took like probably, I don't know, 30 plus like trades, easily over 30 probably. So try to do a little better at that. And I don't know. I'm having trouble like with the whole like, okay, what alerts to set, price alerts on what, and it's hard for me in market open. Everything's going so fast. Like I can't figure out what I want to take. Like I feel like I should already know what I'm going to slap and all this. And so that's like kind of hard. And then just like holding things, and because I'm so risk focused, it's so bad. But I mean, it paid off. My risk this month was like pretty small, and it ended up helping me stay green. But the ones I've had the most success on have been, fundamental bottom up stuff throughout the years that I've expressed through options. And, so I think I might need to lean on that and just figure out how to, perfect that and stuff. And so that's the recap. And then ready for this last week of August. August has been hard, so it's been a good month to learn. Do some more research, more chart work, and see what happens this next week. I'll keep you guys posted.